Hi, I'm Padraig Carmody. I'm a lecturer here in geography at Trinity College Dublin, and my research over the last number of years has had two strands or themes. One is looking at the impacts of China in Africa and the other BRICS countries, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, which are serving as an alternative pole in the global economy and in global geopolitics. And the second trend or theme that I've looked at is the so-called information revolution in Africa. There's been a lot of hype in the media about the so-called information revolution in Africa. Africa has more mobile phone users now than the United States and Europe combined, over 700 million. But has this really been a transformative economic event in the continent's history, or how is it exactly that these technologies are being used? And in a project that I have with Jim Murphy at Clark University in the United States, we look at this issue. And we look at it by examining small business development in Tanzania and South Africa, focusing on one manufacturing sector, which is wood products, furniture, and another which is tourism. And we ask, how is it that small businesses in Africa use these technologies? If it's small business which is going to create the majority of jobs in the continent and which are going to be central to the continent's economic transformation, it's important that we know exactly what the impacts of these technologies are on these small businesses and how it is that we're using them. And we found that in contrast to a lot of the literature and a lot of the material that appears in the media, that in fact small businesses primarily use these technologies for local purposes. That is to connect with customers locally, to manage their labor force locally, rather than to connect with international markets. So they don't fundamentally transform the production processes, the marketing of small businesses, for example, but they get absorbed into the ways that small businesses already do things, if you like, or what economists call their routines. The other thing that we argue in our book, which has just come out recently on Africa's information revolution, is that in fact Africa is thinly integrated into the global informational economy. So it's primarily a receiver of these new technologies rather than a developer or manufacturer of these technologies. And so what we see is actually a replication of Africa's previous patterns of incorporation into the global political economy rather than a revolutionary transformation of the continent's economies.